What's up people, my name is Blake and welcome to the first tutorial series on this channel. Now since this channel is going to be primarily focused on C++ and game development, I thought it'd be a good idea for my first series to cover the fundamental concepts that most beginner C++ game programmers have a hard time picking up. And those end up being things like project setup and compiling and linking. Now it's not that those things are necessarily hard to learn, it's just that those are the things that people who make online tutorial videos tend to just assume that you already know before you start watching. Now that wouldn't be such a bad thing if there were a good tutorial series on YouTube that presented those concepts in the same easily accessible format as the game programming tutorials, but there hasn't been. So people just starting out have had to just kind of pick up little bits of information here and there until they learn enough to follow the series that they want to watch. And having come out the other end of that confusion, I think I can do a pretty good job explaining all the topics needed to confidently follow C++ game programming tutorial videos that you find on the internet. And to give you an idea of what that means, at a minimum, I plan on covering getting cross-platform compilation tools in an IDE the easy way on Windows, compiling and linking code without an IDE on the command line so you know what an IDE is doing for you behind the scenes and you can understand errors that you get from your IDE. I'm going to cover using and making static and shared libraries. Now that is huge. Most of the time when you see somebody having trouble keeping up with a tutorial series about C++ game development, it's because they don't fully understand how libraries are supposed to work. So I hope that'll be a pretty big help. I'm going to cover C++ to C interoperability. Now, what I mean by that is creating an executable in C and linking to a library written in C++, and the other way around with a C++ executable linking in a library written in C. Now I'm also going to cover build systems and project setup. That means setting up build systems like QMake, Makefiles, CMake, going through Visual Studio options, and setting up include files, library paths, and things like that. I'm also going to cover building sample libraries that we're going to need in future tutorial series that also happen to be good examples of libraries that are hard to build. You run into most of the problems that you can run into with building libraries, and it ends up being a pretty educational experience. Now if that sounds good to you, go ahead and stick around. I'll see you in the next video.